High temperature today around 65, 53 tonight, and around 70 tomorrow with a little bit more sunshine. But then more showers come into play Wednesday and Thursday, partly to mostly cloudy in the 60s. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The only surviving suspect in the 2015 Paris attack, Salah Abdeslam, has been jailed for 20 years in Belgium. The Duchess of Cambridge has given birth to a son, her third child with the UK's Prince William. South Korea has stopped broadcasting propaganda via loudspeakers along the border with North Korea. And the French Parliament has voted through a tough new immigration law after long debate, tightening the rules around asylum for the country.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. It's a little wet, but don't let that stop you from having a great day. All right, you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Jones, and my special guests today are Dr. Charles Coleman from the Jonesboro City Council, Ward 2, Position 1, and Mr. Mike Tyner from the City of Jonesboro Code Enforcement Office. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about several things. Which one do we want to start with first, the health screening or the cleanup?
Cleanup.
All right, so as many of you who are on Facebook may have seen, there is a Fisher Street Community in Action spring cleanup coming. And so Dr. Coleman and Mr. Mike are going to get right into that.
First of all, good morning to the community. I asked Mike to come along because I am going to be in surgery this week at St. Vincent. And one thing that I want to impress on the community, because I think this is a good thing, that one person can't stop a show. And we had decided to do the cleanup on the 28th, which is Saturday. And after I found out that I had some issues health-wise, I called Mike and I asked Mike, would he just take over for me?
Okay.
And but not just now. Every time we've had a cleanup, Mike has been there.
That's awesome.
With cleanup, and so that's a very positive thing for me. This cleanup is going to be at Fisher Street United Methodist Church parking lot. Is where we're going to start off. And if I'm not mistaken, sometime I get things a little backwards, but we're going to be working from Patrick to 141 and from Johnson over to Belt in that area, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, and a little bit on 141. And we're asking people to put their items, some items on the curb, but we're also asking them to bring the heavier items over to the church. And Mike, would you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, good morning. What we plan on doing is for those residents that have couches, things like that, that they don't have any way to transport them up to the church, if they'll set them out to the curb, I'll have my officers and myself will be out to pick up the heavy, bulky items and deliver them up to the church, to the dumpsters. And we've also got the street department coordinated to run a knuckle boom truck that they can come by and pick those things up as well.
Right.
Since we don't usually make a habit of going on to folks' property to get that stuff, if they'll get it pulled up as close to the road as they can, we can get it taken care of.
That's a great emphasis, because a lot of people don't want us to come in their yard. They want it clean, but they don't want us to come in their yard. But we're trying to do this, and on a factual basis, we probably will be doing this 2 or 3 times a year. We're getting to the point of Fisher Street Community Action, which is a community-based organization. We're not just cleaning up our area. Matter of fact, last year, if Mike remember, we did something in another area.
Right.
So we're asking people to call us at 870-931-3178 to organize. But we would like to work with people. We don't want to come and do somebody's job. We will help you get started. We will help you how to contact the city in the right form, not way. I think the city as a whole is doing very great. Tiffany, who works for the city, has helped in this part of the organization because we all like food.
That's right.
And so when I announced to the city council that we were going to have cleanup, Tiffany asked which could she do. I said, well, somebody need to provide the groceries. They need to provide the bags. They need to provide items that we're going to need. And I almost call him Sergeant, but Rick Elliott, Chief of Police, he's supposed to do the cooking. And if he doesn't do the cooking, he's going to assign somebody to do the cooking. But most of all, we want to keep our city clean. So
Right.
It's not just something for the north side. We need to keep our city clean, period.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. So, if you would like to find more information about this cleanup, go to the City of Jonesboro's Facebook page or even the website and look for, or just type in FSCIA, which stands for Fisher Street Community in Action. I just spelled it wrong. Okay. And it will give you all of the details of what is acceptable and what is not. So let's talk about the items that cannot be brought.
Well, there's several items, and I'm just going to go ahead and read it so that way I won't make a mistake.
Okay.
Preachers do make mistakes, so I'm going to make sure I read this one. We have hazmat items like oil, fluid batteries, flammable and corrosive materials, auto parts, motors, transmissions, building and remodel debris. The reason why we specify this because this is the day of cleaning up our community.
Okay.
And what a lot of times the contractors will come in, after they trying to get rid of something that day, and they'll utilize that, and that's not what this is for. This is for the community as a whole.
Okay.
From a housing standpoint, so we're not looking to bring people bringing building and remodeling debris, lumber, concrete, drywall, carpet, bricks, and landscape type materials. That's not. If they bring it, then I'm sorry. I don't know what code enforcement is going to do about it, but if I was the code enforcement, I'd be giving a ticket that day.
All right. So what says you, Mr. Mike, if they try? Someone may try it.
We're going to direct them out to the Legacy landfill.
Okay.
I think it's a little over $35 a ton to get rid of building debris.
Right.
So you already got it loaded up. It's just another trip across town. And on those things, make sure that if you do bring a old air conditioner or a refrigerator or freezer or something, you pull a compressor on it because they won't take it if it's still got Freon in it. That's considered a hazardous material.
Okay. So let's go through, and you touched on the items that are available to be brought. Let's just kind of run through those again so people can have a more clear. I don't want anyone to say, well, I didn't know, you didn't tell me.
Well,
we're just going to clear it all up.
In addition to that, later on this afternoon, I've got my patrol guys scheduled. We're going to do a saturation in the cleanup area and do our very best to literally hit every house there to hand folks a flyer. And for those people that have things that need to be removed from the yards, we'll give them a written warning or a verbal warning on that. Say, hey, you need to get rid of that. And oh, by the way, this Saturday would probably be a good time to do that.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad Mike brought that up because one of the things that impressed me, I don't know how many people remember, but the old 365. So we've been doing this several years, even before it became Fish Street Community in Action thing. We just took what we were doing with the 365 cleanup and just kind of enhanced it, but on a smaller basis. And one of the things that impressed me about the code for, they have done really a lot of the work, the legwork.
Okay.
Matter of fact, really all the legwork.
Okay.
Because what they're doing is actually taking flyers and giving them to the community.
Okay.
And to each house that we're doing the cleanup in. So back to the statement that you were talking about, there won't be an excuse because there are flyers be out. Bill and Jerry's has allowed us to do some things for us, putting up posters, letting people know about the cleanup. Matter of fact, a couple of years, just giving a shout out to them, Bill and Jerry's at one time donated the food for the cleanup program. So a lot of people didn't know that. So we kind of, not trying to put somebody in a bad light, but we kind of work with people that's working with us, not on us, and that's the difference between the two.
Okay. All right, and so this is also a great time for those people who may be facing possible don't want to say fines because of not taking care of their property. This is their chance to, okay, you won't get a fine. This is your chance to go ahead and get rid of all the stuff that's y'all in your front yard, backyard, side, whatever. So
this would be an excellent opportunity because way it usually works is the following Monday after these cleanups, we're out again in the same area following up. And if that couch or that refrigerator is still sitting there, you're probably going to end up with a court date as well. So it'd be a great opportunity to get that taken care of. Well, you got folks there that'll take it off your hands and haul it off for you.
What I would love to see are, the whole community coming together. Those with trucks and trailers, help a neighbor. Let's start being more neighborly.
Amen.
Oh, absolutely. And we've had a pretty good turnout in past years. In addition to the volunteer groups and out there, we've had a few neighbors get involved, and I know last year we had quite a few of the Citizens Police Academy folks out there. And
matter of fact, this year the youth move is going to up until this date. A lot of people don't know what the youth move does, but it's a group of young people in the community that try to help the whole community. And so they have. I've talked to Sandy. They're going to be there to try to help out and clean up the program. And that's another thing that we're trying to impress the young folk to get involved in their own community. Don't wait till they get, I'm going to say my age because I've been working a long time in the community, whatever community I've lived in, but let's start now teaching the young folk to care about their neighborhood. It's not necessarily in my head about the north side, not the south side, the east side, the west side, but if you're going to live in Jonesboro, this is your town. So care about it. So if we can teach one or two, I don't look for a mass production.
Okay.
But if we can teach at least one or two of these kids to have faith in the community by getting involved in things that we're doing. So the youth move have asked to be involved, and so again, I want to make sure I emphasize this, that Mike is going to be in charge.
Okay.
Because I will be out in the hospital at St. Vincent and Little Rock.
Okay.
And so this is really exciting to me, just to know that I can turn to somebody else and turn it over to somebody else, and the same thing is going to be done.
I want to take this. I want to add another level to this, I guess you say, another layer. When we start taking care of our community, I'm just going to use the north side because I've lived there 20 plus years. People say, we want this business, we want this, that, and whatever other to happen on the north side of town. But if we don't take care of where we live and make it attractive, there's nothing that's going to want to come over here.
Well, that's a good layer, because one of the things that I've always said, even when I was an idiot on the streets, is that when you start working together, things happen.
Yes.
It takes down a lot of barriers that are there, because you're able to be hands on hands with your neighbor, whoever that neighbor, child, black, white, whatever, Hispanic, doesn't matter to me. That's a great thing. Jonesboro as a whole is really a great city to live in, and yes, we have some issues, but most of the issues are self-taught. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to reverse that by teaching from a spiritual perspective. If you care about yourself, you care about your neighbor. Mm-hmm. If you care about your neighbor, you're going to care about the city that you belong to, and not just point the finger all the time. And like Reverend Yellow used to say all the time, you point one finger, you point three back at yourself.
Absolutely.
And so this is more than just a cleanup. It's in my head, it's a spiritual direction of saying that we need to do something, and continually. So that's why I made the statement. This is not just a one-time deal. We're going to be doing this 2 or 3 times a year in different areas. And yes, I'm going to be very selfish because I live on the north side, and I am in Ward 2, Position 1. So I'm going to be very selfish about Ward 1. What is going to come first.
Okay.
Just that simple.
All right. And so, Mr. Mike, as you're out patrolling, will you reassure people that this is just not patrolling, saturating the neighborhood? This is not, well, in essence, a warning, but at the same time, it's like this. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Absolutely. We prefer it will be a directed patrol, but if this is more of an opportunity for us to get out as a municipality or as representing the city and to actually meet the people in the areas that we're working.
Okay.
To get some communication going there and let them know that hey, there's some issues in the neighborhood, and the city wants you to know that we're out here. We're going to be boots on the ground, getting dirty with everybody else, trying to helping to get it cleaned up. And that's one of the great things about events like these is it gives us an opportunity to actually sit down and meet and talk with folks. And not only are we trying to clean up some of the blight and the mess in the neighborhood, but we found that in the process of doing that, you're speaking with the people that actually live in this community, that care about this community, and we're also getting information on other things that are going on in the community and feedback with things that we do in the community. I have several organizations around town, neighborhood associations that we attend meetings and events like these, and they're always quick to let us know, hey, y'all are doing a great job here, but this joker that lives over here, he's got this couch in his backyard. You can't see it, but it's there. Okay. Somebody need to go tell him about that.
Okay.
But it's an awesome opportunity to get out and actually meet folks, because other than that, my patrol guys are stuck in a truck 8 hours a day, and the only time they get out and talk to somebody is when they knock on the door and say, hey, that's got to go.
Okay.
But it's a great opportunity to get out and meet folks that we work every day to serve.
And I think it really helps to build a relationship with the residents. I remember, was it last year, a couple years ago, when there was the big talk about the code enforcement that was currently in place, and everybody was all up in arms about which way it was going and what the wording said and blah, blah, blah. So this maybe will help you all also educate the residents on what the current code. Is there a code enforcement, like I hate to say legislation, but
we have several different city ordinances that
Okay.
we're responsible for enforcing. A lot of our side of the house has to do with environmental conditions, whether it's unlawful storage of materials or just plain old unsightly and tall grass.
Okay.
I handle the condemnations of either rundown property or burnout houses,
Okay.
Vacant property, or we've also got some city-owned properties that I do the scheduling and the contracting work to hire the people to get them taken care of. So we worked a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And then there's several times we work with other departments that we're kind of their enforcement arm. If they're having trouble getting compliance, we'll go write the person a citation and get them into court so that we can get the matter taken care of.
See, this weekend is a perfect opportunity for people to avoid those citations.
Oh, absolutely.
Which could be potentially costly if not taken care of. Let's talk about the crime element and how people getting out and in the community more and cleaning up, how this could potentially help.
Well, one of the things about crime, and when I read the newspaper sometimes I get a little distorted, but in my head, and because I live in the Pacific on the north side, I hear so many negative things from the south side and the west side talking about what's happening on the north side. Well, under the cover, the same thing is happening all over Galveston. It's just that because of the economic situation, because of the placement, the housing, people placing people in certain areas, for some reason they stick all what we call potential crime individuals on the north side. So what do you expect if you're putting all the people that have issues in the same place? What do you think is going to happen? But on the positive side of it, we're still talking with people to get them to understand that you need to take care of your children. You need to teach them not to do certain things at the same time. And then a lot of the criminal aspect in Jonesboro is really gang related. I remember I talked to the school system and even the police department 10 or 15 years ago about gang related, and they wouldn't really listen. All of a sudden the newspaper saying we do have gangs here. Well, my God, common sense would tell you that you have gangs here. So we're trying to distort that by teaching them there is a different direction. Because you've got to remember also, I came from that product of gangs. I came from that product of living in the streets. And there's a difference between living in the streets and on the streets.
Okay.
Living on the streets, people just watch stuff happen. Living in the streets is things you get totally involved in all the aspects of crime. And I did that. 49 years ago. So it helps me now to give back, to teach young men and also young women. You don't do these things. And then there's a self-worth about yourself. Look in the mirror. Quit looking at other people. And quit feeling sorry for yourself. And nobody will help me. Nobody will do this. And believe it or not, that brings up the crime element, because most of those people want attention. They want somebody to see them doing this, and by the time they get off in it, then they realize, oh, I shouldn't have done this. So we're trying to, with Fifth Street Community in Action, it's not just a garden thing that we got going. We're trying to talk with young men. We talk to people at Success School. We on the board at Success School. In other areas, we go mentor people. We advise children. These type of things. So Fifth Street Community in Action is not just a cleanup program, not just a garden thing. We're about, again, repeatedly, the city of Jonesboro. What can we do? Because we have kids from all different ethnic groups on the north side, more than most areas. And a lot of the people that are talking about what's happening on the north side don't live there, they don't come over there. All it is a pass down the word. Somebody told me that this is not a good area. Well, why don't you come and see for yourself? You know, bottom line. Matter of fact, I need to go into something while I'm talking about this.
Well, we got 30 seconds for a break, so we're going to hold that until we come back from break. So when we come back from our break, Dr. Coleman is going to finish up his statement, and I do want him to also touch on, which he's been touching on, about when we start looking out for ourselves and picking up, cleaning up, how then other individuals of the city authorities will come in and start helping us as well. But we're going to leave it there. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
What's one of the most powerful gifts you can give your child? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. It's not some high-tech gadget you can pick up at the store. It's a sense of belonging. So, how can you instill that in your kids? At home, let your kids know they're important to you and to your family. Affirm their positive character traits. Encourage their unique gifts. And let them know that their thoughts and opinions matter. Then, when you're out in public, praise them to others and proudly claim them. This is my daughter, Rachel. She's an amazing young lady. This is my son, Brian. I'm so proud of him. Give your kids a sense of belonging, and they'll never have to look for it elsewhere. Remember, your family first.
For more resources on today's topic, go to markmerrill.com. The Family Minute with Mark Merrill, helping families love well.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a non-profit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
Full Sun Gifts, celebrating their 1-year anniversary throughout April, is a supporter of KLEK. Full Sun Gifts is located at 606 Southwest Drive in Jonesboro and offers a variety of gift items for all occasions. Full Sun will host the Scout Badge Trunk Show April 12th and 13th and the Alley and Bird Jewelry Trunk Show April 20th. More information is available at Full Sun Gifts on Facebook and Instagram and 870-974-8480.
Hello, I'm Officer Victoria Evans. I have always had a desire to help others in need and to be an example and role model to young women by encouraging them to never give up on their dreams. My dream was to become a police officer and to serve my community. In 2016, that dream became a reality, and it is the most rewarding experience of my life. Now I want to let you know about the same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing every month for patrol officers. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the Police Department, 1001 South Caraway Road. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information is available at 870-935-5657.
The Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was established on June 28, 1997 by 13 dynamic women who accepted the challenge and honor of chartering the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter. Today, the chapter continues to impact the Jonesboro community by sponsoring programs such as the Sonia D. Williams Scholarship Breakfast, Back to School Bash, Disaster Preparedness, Delta Academy, Empower African Girls, and Autism Awareness. Our focus correlates with the national theme, uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. Our chapter supports Delta's 5-point programmatic thrusts: economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. More information about the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is available at www.jonesboroalumnidst.org or via email jonesboroalumni@live.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guests are Dr. Charles Coleman from the Jonesboro City Council, Ward 2, Position 1, and Mr. Mike Tyner from the City of Jonesboro's Code Enforcement Office. My tongue is... Okay, so we're going to get back into our discussion. Dr. Coleman was going to make a statement before we went to break, so I'm going to let him finish that.
Well, my statement has always been that, we have a lot of people that want to gripe. We have a lot of people saying don't come to the north side. And I look at those people that they probably have a mental problem. Because, I live on the north side. I've been over there 27 years. And what I learned to do, yes, some of those issues are true from an aspect, but even when I heard that they were true and didn't see a lot of things, I decided to get involved in the community, not just as a city councilman. Matter of fact, I was doing more before I got on city council. Because on city council, you're kind of restricted. You can't do certain things. But I try to help people understand that this is our city. And not just because we're on the north side, things are happening, but you need to take back the city. But you need to take back the city in a positive way.
That's right.
Not creating havoc, not putting the police down or the fire department down or these type of things. And so I tell most people on the south side, whether they like it or not, why don't you come and live in my shoes for a day and walk around. And then the churches, I tell the churches, get out the pulpit. Come into the community and help. Quit rocking and rolling on Sunday and doing nothing on Monday. I just have problems with stuff like that, but that's just me. And I'm sure some ministers don't like the conversation, but like I've told most people, ain't but two people taking care of me. And that's Jesus and my wife. I have absolutely no sleep worrying about what you think about me. What I want to do is enhance. When I leave here, I want my legacy not to be Charles Coleman just did. I want my legacy to go to a child that says, hey, I can do it. I can be that. I can do something. I can give back. And God has blessed me to do that for 49 years. And, like I say, I'm going to be cooped up for a couple of days, but I'm already healed. I'm already ready to get back out there and get on it, bottom line. I want to talk about one other thing before we do it. We have also the 25th from 7 to 12 at Fisher Street Church. We're having a health program. And one of the reasons why we're having this health program, we've got involved with St. Bernard to help us with our health program, because one of the problems that I see, especially, and I hate to go this direction, but this is the way it is, black men, particularly black men, don't take care of themselves enough. They're scared to go to the doctor. They're teaching their young black men not to go to the doctor. So we're having a health fair from 7 to 12 on Wednesday at 301 North Fisher Street for get your blood pressure checked, getting certain items checked. And we have got, as we say on the streets, we've got in bed with St. Bernard to help us with this item. And this is not the last health fair we're going to have. We also going to have a prostate check real soon. And of course, yes, it costs some money to get prostate checked, but working with St. Bernard, they're going to we hopefully get individuals to give a reduced rate. And this is not going to happen Wednesday. Wednesday we're going to actually be doing blood pressure, weight checks, BMI, wellness profile, checking cholesterol, anemia, blood sugar, and those type of items. But we'll be there from 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Once again, and I hate to keep saying this, but I will be in the hospital. And Dr. Oda is going to, again, and I keep emphasizing, one man cannot run everything. Mm-hmm. And so I've been blessed to have people like Dr. Oda. I've been blessed to have people like Mike, that we have a good relationship. Didn't say we agree on everything, but we have a good relationship that when I'm absent, guess what? Somebody steps in and step up. We also want to thank the pastor. I'm at that church, but we want to thank the Pastor Donald, who is allowing us to do this health fair again on Wednesday the 25th from 7 to 12. And so we're inviting everybody. This is not, by the way, this is not a black thing. This is a people thing. To come out and get checked. But I'm more emphasized because when I get up in the morning, I am black. But people won't go to the doctor. They won't go to the dentist. They won't take care of themselves. But again, they want to say, well, them folks. Well, I don't want to know who them folks is. You know, it's kind of like I tell my wife, us's have a problem. And so we're trying to stop the us's situation.
And I want to tie into that, going back to the cleanup. When we take care of our health, then we can take care of our community and take care of the other individuals. And hopefully we can create a domino effect of change within our own community. Again, how can we expect, say, city council to vote on an ordinance or come to an agreement on something that would benefit the community if we're not even showing an appreciation for what we already have? We're leaving our yards trashed. We're leaving broken down cars in the yards. We're just not taking care of ourselves and our community. How can we expect the city to come in and put something nice and shiny there?
Well, you know, I'm also, maybe I'm just an optimistic, even though sometimes my optimism goes a little farther than maybe some people, but I'm expecting the ministers to tell their people in their congregation to come out in the cleanup, number one, come to the health fair, number two. But let's don't do this one-time thing.
That's right.
Let's make this a continuation of keeping your community and your surroundings. Mike, then expect people to call them to let them know that there's a blight in your neighborhood or there's some issues in your neighborhood. We expect it. I expect as a councilman to know that. But here's the problem that I'm finding out here lately. Most of the people, some of the people, not most, that's not a good statement, so let me make sure I retract that. But a lot of people that come in talking to me call themselves, they say, well, we don't want to snitch on somebody. Well, I don't want a stinking yard next door to me, so you're not snitching, you're trying to keep your community clean. So if you feel like that, then the other side of the story is we have people coming, they want to tell on somebody else, but they're doing the same thing, you know. So these type things, I'm just trying to break down that critical barrier. And I know that a lot of people that are listening today probably even having problems with some of the things I'm saying, but that's cool. You know, I'm not going to stop because you don't like it. You know, I'm just going to keep on doing what I need to do. And best thing I can do is tell people, come in and help me. And if you think I'm wrong, come and talk with me about it. If you think we could do it a different way, because I am open to people coming suggesting this. Other people do it, especially people when we have issues on the city council. You'd be shocked at how many hours we spend away from the city council meetings on Tuesday of trying to solve problems, trying to talk with people, these type of things. So being a council person is not just a Tuesday night situation. Being a council person is almost a 24/7. But in the cleanup programs, we want to also promote this for the north side, but we're telling people we have a group also, like you mentioned a while ago, my west side. West side is doing a great job. Scenic Hills, Judy Castile, they're doing a great job, doing the same thing, keeping their areas clean. But we want to emphasize more areas on the east side of Jonesboro, on the south side of Jonesboro, because guess what? There's blight on every area of this town. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a code enforcement.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It affects everybody. In fact, we've got I know Miss Castile and Mr. Shehorn with Scenic Hills. Actually, Mr. Shehorn sends me an email usually about once a week, if not more,
Right.
about issues he wants us to look into. And anytime we get a complaint, we go check it out. You know, it may not be a violation, but we can
Right.
see where, you know, hey, we can at least make contact with this person and get the ball rolling, because, you know, sociology, a principle in sociology is a broken window theory.
Right.
And that's, to boil it down, is if you have a place where the buildings are all run down, the grass is unkept, there's trash everywhere, that invites other things. People are going to start, they're going to end up more crime in the area, because
Right.
people get the mentality is, oh, nobody cares about this place anyway, who's going to notice?
Yeah. Well, you know, my real father, my parents didn't raise me, but I went to stay with my real father one time, and I think it rubbed off on me more than he figured it would rub off, because I was very arrogant at that time, not wanting to do it. But I remember him definitely talking about cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, in our house, it was a one-room house, and he would make us wash the floors. Old folks, especially black folks, know this, but half a nose and half floor.
Yeah.
And I wondered why I had to keep that place clean. But it kind of resonated with me with the community cleanup thing, because even in the community, it doesn't matter. You need to keep it clean.
Right.
You need to keep your area clean. And it makes you feel better that when you can look out and see something that you've done, but at the same time, that when you have helped your neighbor. And so this is also a neighbor thing. If we're helping each other and looking out for each other in a cleanup program, not just a one-time deal, but all during the year, hate to say this, Mike, your job might be eliminated.
Hey, you know, and that's one of the things we've talked about in the office, and it'll come up from time to time. I was like, you realize that we have a job that requires us to go out in the community and tell grown folks to pick up their toys and put their stuff away. I said that's what we do.
Absolutely.
We've also found that in the areas of town where we've worked with the community organizations and stuff, once folks start working together and they start making an effort to keep stuff up, not only does that encourage communication and working together, but also folks tend to notice when there's something out of place.
Well, but not only that, I've said this once before, this is not a black thing, this is a
Right.
people thing. We have Hispanics that not doing what they're supposed to do. We have blacks, whites, don't do
Oh,
what they're
absolutely.
supposed to do. But at the same time, this barrier that we have about who's doing what or who's not doing, when we have this cleanup program, all kinds of people show up.
Okay.
Right.
And that's wonderful. I mean, I sit back and I don't see it much openly, but I sit back, I'm smiling, and then maybe next door neighbor who's Hispanic or white, they didn't speak, but now we got a cleanup program, they're helping each other. I mean, it's bigger than me and you.
Oh, absolutely.
And so the cleanup program itself is bigger than the people that's actually there, because it's showing what we can do in our city. And I think sometimes they give out different awards in the municipal league, and I think that they should come sometime to our programs and watch what we do in the community, not just Fifth Street Community in Action, but West Side again.
Right.
Judy Castile and that group is doing some things, and found out that, man, we're really serious about keeping our city clean.
Well, and that's especially, you mentioned that, and it also has to do with my job, but I find myself that anytime I travel around, that's one of the first things I start noticing is like, man, they let their grass get tall here. Man, they got yard sale signs all over the place. Jonesboro, as a community, we're very fortunate that we have so many people that are willing to get involved in keeping things up. And this is one of the, you know, I grew up in this area. I was born and raised. I traveled quite a bit when I was in the Army, but I come back home and I never thought in Jonesboro, Arkansas, I'd run into folks where I'd need to learn Spanish and even Chinese. I've had, you know, we've got ASU here, and I'm trying to tell this college kid, hey, dude, you can't put your mattress at the curb, and we're doing sign language and drawing pictures on paper because you know, and it's an amazing thing to get out and just to meet folks. And
but it's also a story. I like to tell this story all the time, and my wife laughs at me quite a bit because I have a lot of stories. Being the type person I was, the way I was raised, you know, we have a lot of people that's throwing a rock, hiding their hand, and a lot of people don't quite understand. So I'm gonna break that down this morning. You're running your fat mouth, doing nothing. And that's just simple. That's why I say, this morning is probably, I'll probably have a lot of phone calls this afternoon talking about me real bad. That's cool. I'm going to do it. Is pray for you and lay hands, as long as I don't lay hands on you the wrong way.
Right.
But, throwing a rock, hiding your hand, you always want to talk, be negative about what's going on in the community. You always want to point the finger what somebody's not doing. We don't need that. And so in this community efforts that we have, especially Fifth Street Community in Action, we have learned to let our biases, as I use to say, sit on our biases and join the whole group and see what we can do in each area of the city, but not on that individually. And like you said, we have people from different ethnic backgrounds. It doesn't matter. Dirt is dirt.
Right. Right.
A couch in your yard, whose yard?
Right.
Doesn't matter. Trash, not cutting your grass, not keeping up your area that you live in. And I'm kind of like you. I'm an old military person. I spent 6 years in the military. Right. And we had to clean up every day. We didn't have any choice.
Oh, man.
Bottom line. But a lot of those things stuck with me, even though I was raised in the streets, those kind of things, I was able to go into certain areas of life that is responsible. Then, too, more than anything, God wants a clean mind. So if he wants a clean mind, he wants a clean body. Mm-hmm. He wants a clean area. And so think about that. Even if you don't like Charles Coleman, think about what God has said to you, to keep yourself clean, to keep the community clean, keep your children clean. And then, too, we need to show our children. Our children are different children from when I was coming up. We need to show them it can happen. And things that you want, that you dream about, can come true. But it won't come true you sitting back pointing the finger.
Right.
It won't come true you griping all the time. It won't come true if you're sitting around the kitchen table talking about other people. These things won't come true. So,
my grandfather always had a saying. He used to tell me, he said, anything worth having is worth working for. Right. You can't just sit back and wait for somebody to hand it to you. You need to roll up your sleeves.
Well, at the same time, I want to also, before I leave today, is thank this radio station for being a part of the community, because they are putting on and putting out information.
Absolutely.
From a group of people that I hope this radio station gets bigger so that they can just be a Jonesboro radio station like all the other radio stations, and be part of the television programs to excite people on what they're doing in the community. And just want to thank the people here at the KLEK.
Thank you.
For allowing us to be here. But at the same time, every day is your day. Every day is our day, and we need to do something about it.
What I would love to see, you all have touched on before about people from different sides of town coming together and visiting other places. There are people that live on the south, live on the north, that probably work together. And if they would come together and visit each other's side of town, they'll see, okay, this is how you live, this is how you live. Let me help you out any way I can. I always try to state, I want us to start being neighbors, getting to know your neighbor that doesn't live just across the street or next door. Get to know your neighbor who lives across town, right, or wherever. We have got to start looking out for each other. I know I'm fairly younger compared to Dr. Coleman, but I'm still at the age.
I'm just good looking and old,
I'm still at the age where I can remember, watching video clips, old footage of, just say back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, where people actually looked out for their neighborhood. You would see the older lady in the window. She knew every kid that walked by. She knew where they lived. If you weren't at home at this certain time, where your mom and where your daddy at, while you're on the corner and street lights on, I hate to say we have gotten away from looking out for each other and each other's kids and each other's families. I don't see people, when people fall on hard times, and I'm not throwing shade on anybody in particular, just things that I've noticed in my time. Like I said, I've lived in Jonesboro since '95. I've been on the same street for 20 odd years. So I've seen a lot, and I've seen a decline.
Well, one of the things that when I first moved to this area, I'm just be honest with you, because I lived in the big cities, be honest with you, and I really have not heard anything what we call the Bible Belt. And so when I moved here, that's all I heard. I moved to Forest City first before I moved to ASU, is teaching engineering out there. And I kept saying, how could this be the Bible Belt? And you're talking about what actually is the Bible Belt, neighbors helping neighbors. And I'm not seeing a lot of that. You know, I said, well, instead of me pointing the finger, see, you also, even though you might think something about other people, you also need to look at yourself too. What can you do, Charles Coleman? You know, not just point the fingers at somebody. You know, if you know that the town needs cleanup or your area needs cleanup, then you need to start. So my initial emphasis on the cleanup program wasn't because my name is Charles Coleman. It's just that I started looking at the picture that, why tell somebody else what to do when I can get involved in it? And that's one of the things that I emphasize quite a bit, you know, because we have a lot of people that run their mouth, you know, like I say, throwing a rock, hiding their hand. You know, why don't you clean this up? Or why don't you plant this? Or why don't you do that? And I'm saying, isn't that amazing? That's absolutely amazing to me. It really is amazing. You know, you think, well, something's wrong with my mind, but it is something. It's amazing to me when I hear people, you know, well, you need to plant this and you need to plant. And I'm saying,
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? When are you going to get out there and bend over and help us clean up or help us plant something in the garden? So that's one reason, and we're going to talk about this later at another day, but we've changed our emphasis in the community cleanup, not in community cleanup, but the community gardens, because some people feel because you use the word community, it belongs to them. Nada. No. So what Fifth Street Community in Action has done, we're doing all the work to give away food, you know. But anyway, that's at another day. Right now, again, I want to thank the radio station again for letting us talk about the community.
I'm going to pause right there. We're going to a break and we'll wrap up when we come back.
Okay.
All right, so we're getting ready for a break. I'm sorry. Please stay tuned. We have one more segment just to wrap up the information we already shared, and for Mr. Mike and Dr. Coleman to give their final thoughts. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. One of the worst times to deal with a financial issue is while coping with the emotional upheaval that comes with the passing of a loved one. Here's what to consider when planning a funeral. The casket can be the single most expensive item purchased for a funeral, with an average casket costing slightly more than $2,000 and continuing up the scale to as much as $10,000. The Federal Trade Commission's funeral rule requires that before showing you any caskets, the funeral director must provide a list of caskets the company sells with descriptions and prices included. Furthermore, the funeral home cannot refuse or charge you a handling fee for a casket you purchased somewhere else. You may want to consider a prearranged funeral plan where some or all the expenses are paid in advance. It is important that the family be informed if a pre-need funeral plan exists. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Stark's Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. The all-new Stark's Auto Service 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro. 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
Hey ladies, it's Nettie Jones, the girlfriend's therapist. I'm here with my girls, Elise Lyles and Brianna Hill, the Fab Squad.
Hey!
We're coming to Jonesboro, KLEK 102.5 FM. So tune in every Wednesday from 10 to 11 to Your Life with Nettie Jones. We're living it fabulously every day. You don't want to miss it.
Tell a friend.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyer.com.
The Epic Center, located at 1899 Hasbrook Road, County Road 333, is Jonesboro's newest venue for entertainment for the entire family. They offer an auditorium with theater-style seating for up to 1,100 guests, a large stage, professional lighting and sound, dressing rooms, concessions, and more. Available for weddings, concerts, pageants, birthday parties, showers, and more. Booking and other information is available at Epic Center Jonesboro on Facebook, epiccenterjonesboro.com, and at 870-530-5841.
House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com.
This portion of KLEK programming can be made possible by your business. Your support will help in educating, entertaining, and empowering the community by supporting local talent, serving the community you love, and providing information on issues you care about from a different perspective. Call 870-203-9951 or visit klekfm.org to learn how we can help connect you more with the community, or visit us at 1411 Franklin Street. KLEK 102.5 Jonesboro, educating, entertaining, and empowering the community.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I've been your host, Kabila Jones, along with Dr. Charles Coleman and Mr. Mike Tyner, both from the city of Jonesboro. Dr. Coleman from the City Council and Mr. Mike from Code Enforcement. All right, so this is our wrap-up session. I'm going to let them have the final moments and to give any final words, encouraging words, call to action, something.
I just want to again reemphasize and thank Mike for even joining me this morning. He didn't really know what he was going to do, but one reason again I called him because I just don't want to just emphasize me as a person, but I'm going to have a tumor operation next week at St. Vincent, and I'm going to be out of order. All right. And so I kept saying, who could I get to actually help with this and know that it's going to be totally taken care of, and not so much have the same attitude I have. Mike said he's praying about that, about doing this. And so when I called Mike and asked him, would you come and help me and be guiding light for the cleanup program we have on April 28th, because I didn't want to cancel it.
Okay.
But in cancel it, it also helped me understand too, as I've said before, one person can't run a show.
Amen.
You need organization, number one. You need people that you can rely on, number two. I didn't talk about from a scripture standpoint, I always talk about the book of Philippians where Paul sent Epaphroditus back to the Philippians because his character, he had a character. He did Timothy his character. Well, Mike has proven to me over a period of years of work with him that I can leave and go about my business.
Okay.
Things be fine. Unfortunately, I will have some issues going from a hospital standpoint, but I'm thanking him for the program that we're going to have. I'm inviting everybody out in the community, not just people on the north side.
Everybody.
Not just the Fifth Street Community Action people to come out, but this cleanup program is something that we do 3 or 4 times a year. We plan on doing it 3 or 4 times a year. The second part of the story is that we're going to have a health fair Wednesday morning at Fish United Methodist Church, 301 North Fisher Street, starting at 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock. The cleanup program will start at 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I hadn't talked about this before, but when you get through working, free groceries.
Okay.
There you go. People call them free food. I call them free groceries. I'm from the old school. And so we want people to come out and help clean up. At the same time, we hopefully going to have the chief police and his crew to come out and cook for us. And thank you, Mike, for taking part of this and being able to take over this for me. And I really appreciate that very much.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, you've I first got into this. You've been a mentor to me as far as being able to talk to folks and get things organized and kind of set forth a way of getting things done. Like I said earlier, I was kind of joking. I've been practicing my mean mug in the mirror all week. That way I can keep you covered. But it gets along more to that because it's one of those that, just being able to get out and talk to folks and be honest with them and open and just a way to show them that you do care about what's going on in the community. And that's one of the things that I've always admired about you. And I think it's helped me not only personally but professionally as well. As you just can't get out there and not be scared to get dirty.
Absolutely.
Amen. And I just want to reemphasize, when we start taking care of our physical health, then we can start taking care of everything else around us. We'll be more able to get out in the community and be a presence and show the city that we care about where we live. So hopefully they can go to bat for us when it comes time for new developments to come into the city that's going to be beneficial economically for I'm just going to go to the north side again. There are things that we need or want, but until we do this cleanup, until we start taking care of our own, we can't expect anyone else to come in and build and help us restore.
And I want to emphasize one other thing before we leave today is I want to give a shout out in this direction, and I hope I really don't offend anybody, but black men, quit being scared to check your health out.
Please.
Quit being scared to check your prostrates out. Quit being scared of using the term being a man and dying. That don't make sense to me. Be a man and live.
That's right.
By checking your health out. So it's not just black men, but hopefully black women, white, Spanish, whoever come to the health fair that's going to be held on the 25th, again at 301 North Fish. But come out and let us help you help yourself. Because I guarantee you live longer. I've lived 73 years of pretty good health. And because I guess maybe being in the military kind of helped me understand that I need to make sure I check myself out health-wise.
Right, so, and those that are married or have children, you have a responsibility to your children and your spouse to take care of your health as well. So, you've been tuned in to Community Conversations. Thank everyone. Thank you, Dr. Coleman. Thank you, Mr. Mike, for joining us. Thank you, listeners. April 25th, health screening. April 28th, Fisher Street cleanup.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints